movement around. Honorable, from all your answers.
When I first became a member of parliament in Aswansi, there was only one police station at the airport police station. I think Commander One is here. He was then, he became regional commander later, and together with him we built some more. And the shocking thing was that the barracks that they had in Aswansi, that's the airport police station, they were using pan latrine. Pan latrine. That was around 2015 thereabout. And I said, how can you dehumanize the police this way? They are using pan latrine where they ease themselves. So I built a 20-seater WC for them through the initiative of Common Fund and other things. But I know currently, especially the Ghana Police Service, they've been able to create a welfare fund that other citizens are helping and contributing to the extent that I'm told, even though I'm yet to get there to get the full facts, in the last 3-4 years, no police officer, no matter your ailment, the police themselves are able to deal with it without necessarily falling on GOG. It is something that I will encourage the other team, because I'm joining the team. So can we look at how we can emulate this with the other team? Can we get, yes, government to do more, but can we get also private individuals to support? Can people who God has endowed be able to support our security people so that they can support us? I mean, I always read widely. And I remember Carnegie, one of the richest guys in America, who says, I spent half of my life looking for money, and I spent the other half giving it out to charity. In this part of our world, we are not very good as charitable giving. Like I mentioned, what Pentecost did in assisting the prison service. Let us all learn. Yes, we'll push GOG, government, to do this, but because of the enormous nature of the challenges, if I can get all the teams that I'm joining, the prison service, the narcotics, the small arms, gaming commission, all of them, to be able to have this kind of endowment, where maybe annually we launch a program and citizens, non-governmental organizations, non-profit organizations can willingly donate because of supporting us security services. I'm sure it will go a long way to deal with most of the challenges that you're talking about. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Any further questions?
Mr. Chair, yes. Just a follow-up. Honorable Muntaka, so what happens to those who are also looking for retirement benefits? What have we put in place to streamline and expedite pension processing for retiring security personnel?
Well, Chair, thank you very much. I mean, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama in the NDC manifesto, if you check, has said that he's going to ensure that the captivity is there and then review it and improve it. That, I can assure you, that will work very closely as his representative at the Ministry of Interior to ensure that this is done. Because, like I said much earlier, without morale in the services, you can bring all the tankers, you can bring all the guns, you can bring all the accoutrement. The men to man it, if their morale is low, we will have a challenge. So, like I repeatedly said, we have a national security strategy. My bid is that the part that we have to do with internal security of our country will adhere to them very strongly. And part of it is about their condition of service. So you can be rest assured that this is something that we'll take up very seriously. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
His Excellency President Mahama is currently driving a very beautiful V8. The procurement of that V8, whether or not it meets security standards, and whether or not, as Minister of Interior, you would agree that it is a presidential vehicle, that properly so-called? I'm asking the nominee.
Yeah, Chair, until I don't have this fact. In fact, he's talking about four-wheel drive. I've seen so many four-wheel drive. All of us here drive four-wheel drives. If I sit here and I tell you that I know what type of four-wheel drive His Excellency the President is driving, I will be untruthful for you. But as his representative at the Ministry of Interior, part of our responsibility, the team at Ministry of Interior, is to make sure that the President is skilled. I can assure you that when the opportunity comes, when this House, by the grace of God, approves of our nomination, when I join the team, these are things that we'll review, and definitely, if it doesn't meet the purpose, obviously we'll ensure that we'll humbly and respectfully advise the President. But remember, the President is not just a first-time President. He's been President before, and I want to believe he's very much aware of most of these things. But obviously, when we get there, we'll look at that, and if there's some advice that we can give His Excellency, why not? Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yes, Honorable Chair. Still on the welfare of the security agencies, and vis-a-vis how they are seen to be dealing with the public and public trust, what mechanisms are you going to put in place to ensure that the security agencies would have a lot of stakeholder engagement with the people so that trust is reposed in them?
Well, thank you very much. I must admit that I've seen videos and pictures of the top hierarchy of the police, led by the IGP, in our secondary schools, in some primary schools, in some junior high schools, interacting with community. It is something that we need to encourage, not only the Ghana Police Service. Because, for example, the Ghana National Fire Service even needs to do more of that. But all of them sometimes hinges on resources. And this is something that I keep calling, that the non-governmental organization, non-profit organization, that can assist us as a team to be able to do more of this kind of engagement. Why not? We'll be happy, because that will help the citizen to get closer, to tell us what their perception is about us, and then we'll also know, then be able to have basis for correction and improving what the team will be doing. So I can assure you that we'll be encouraging more of that to be done, the interaction with the general community. I mean, and it's also in line with the vision of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. When you look at our manifesto, when he says that our security architecture, we are going to review it to make sure that it is more community-based. Involvement of the community should be more. So we'll be looking at that, and like I keep repeating, these are experts in their own right. I mean, they've been in the services for long. They've seen it all. They've traveled across the world. We'll put our heads together to see how we can improve and get the communities to trust us more, so that we'll be able to improve what we are doing. Thank you, Chair.
The Chairman, that will be all for the witness. I wish you very well.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll proceed to give the floor to Honorable Minority Leader and the ranking member of the committee, Alexander Afenyu Maki.
Good afternoon, Senior.
Good afternoon, Minority Leader.
How old are you now?
Well, the separation that was done to be able to get me my date of birth, it says I should be about 54 now.
Based on your date of birth on page 1 TV, which you were born October 17th, 1971, you are 54 now.
heading towards 54.
Very. So you are 53 now?
Yes, Minority Leader.
Senior, in 2009, how old were you? 2009 February, how old were you?
Probably around 37.
So it would mean that you had not reached that prime age of 40, as they say, life begins at 40, correct?
Yeah, obviously.
Now, a lot of Ghanaian youths are watching you now. First, share with us useful public life lessons you learned between that age of 37 when you came into public life and now that you are 53 back again into mainstream public life. And for the avoidance of doubt, the public life is, as I've used now, means getting into the executive arm of government. So I'm defining my public life to mean the executive arm of government.
Well, thank you very much, Minority Leader. You are perfectly right. I want to believe that even when you yourself came to this house some 12, 13 years ago, you admit that I think I was then the majority whip. I was more aggressive than today over the period. Well, as you age, you learn from your mistakes, you learn from the mistakes of others, you more widely, you experience so many other things. So you learn so much. And the tendency for you to think and review and probably share with others before you act is much better when you are older than when you are younger. Also, let me also say that in 2009, I just finished first term, I started my second term, and frankly speaking, I had never worked with even any government sector. I mean, I was the type, when I completed school, never wanted to anybody. I wanted to work for myself. So the closest I did was to work in the private sector. In the private sector, the attitude, the way of doing things are completely different from the public sector, where in the public sector, age is matter, seniority matter, all those things matter, what have you and what have you. And the buck sometimes does not necessarily end with you. You could be the minister, but the buck may not necessarily end with you. Today, I've been in, even in Pan-African Parliament alone, I've been there for over a decade, all across the world, at the continent. You see so much that makes you act differently from when you were much younger, that you have the kind of experience that you have when you are in your 50s. So definitely there's a huge difference between my good self. I can tell myself that sometimes I wonder and say that, why are you tolerating this from this constituency? I said, don't worry, the person is young. When he grows, he will understand. So yes, I've learned so much.
You were 37 when you entered into the executive arm of government.
Yes, Honorable Minority Leader.
You had some issues with the civil service structure, and you are on record to have said that the directors cannot be trusted.
Obviously, that was then. It's part of what I'm saying.
No, I gave you the opportunity to do a general overview.
Yes.
To advise the youth. So pick something from this. Now I'm delving into the specifics.
That's okay, sir.
Right. Some of the public utterances against the conduct of the chief directors. And you know, you have done a perfect expansion of your background, that you were coming from the private sector and you saw things differently. So it made you say certain things. Today, going back in there, confronted with similar attitude by the civil service, and bear in mind, no doubt, you are going to meet a bureaucracy of permanent government workers who can give you tough time. What would be your posture?
Well, Mr. Chair, I think since I say I've consistently said that I'm joining a team. I want to believe that probably in 2009, I went thinking that I was the king. Today, I believe that I'm only joining a team. And I've drummed it again in all since morning that if I have to succeed, it is because this crop of expertise will have to come on board and let us work as a team. If we have to fail, we'll fail together as a team. My attitude is completely, by the grace of God and with all humility, as you know. Now I even teach leadership in UPSA. I teach master class in leadership. Obviously, you cannot be an effective leader if you think you know it, or you see people as this, it is you and me. If you see leadership as playing parts of the relay to get us to finish a race and making everybody feel belonging and everybody's view matter and everybody feels important, even the tortoise will want to speed up to get us finish the race. So that will be the attitude that I'll be going in there, that look, we'll do this together and I respect your expertise. What do you say? I have to be more listening than doing all the talking. I don't have to act until I'm very sure that all of us, or at least majority of us in the team, believe that that is the best way to act. So it's no longer about me as an individual, it should be about us. I think that will be the attitude that I'll be going in there with. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Honorable Leader, you have used a word that you have used a word king, and you juxtapose against your yesterday. Muntaka at 36 thought that leadership meant he being a king. Muntaka at 53 believes that leadership to him is being part of a team. In a recent interview with a Joy FM journalist, you had cause to critique the leadership of the Speaker of the 8th Parliament of Ghana. Do you still hold firm those views as contained in those criticisms? The 8th Parliament Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Let me clear this. I did not criticize the speaker. I criticized his style. And I believe that for a style, people have their varying views. I respect him. He's mentored me. We agree more on so many other things, but we have areas where we agree. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Honorable nominee. So, I'll give you a bit of a background by way of laying foundation. Then I'll mount my question on it. Okay? You recall Donald Rumsfeld, a former Defense Secretary of the United States of America.
During George Bush.
Very well. Some journalists were pestering him on some very important matters of state. They pushed him over and over again. I'll try to paraphrase what he said. That there are known unknowns and the known unknowns, and there are unknown knowns. Keep that in mind. Foundation 2. Some of your colleagues who I interacted with on your nomination expressed joy upon the announcement because they say you are very hardworking. But we're quick to also say that when your back against the wall, you can spill. Let me ask you, are you ready to enter your casket with some debts on you, even when you are innocent, to save the name?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I will say that you are asking the Pope. I'll just give one example to reiterate this. I believe, Minority Leader, you knew how we elected Mr. Speaker into office. Everybody in this country had done everything possible. I believe even including the security agencies to know which of us supported us, and they don't know. Because
but we know.
You don't know.
We know.
You
we
don't.
Know.
You don't.
We know.
You
don't
I'm
go
sorry.
there.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm answering question. You ask a question. I hope you let me answer.
Well, but because you've introduced that,
because I'm saying that
we know.
You don't. You don't. You can only guess. You cannot say you.
But do you know?
I worked with people, and I told them that not even my wife will know this. I will die with it. I meant it, and I will die with it. I'm telling you that I'm going to this ministry that is security, an area where you talk less, you act more. I can assure you that even, I'm sure, that you and I, in the last few years that I've been in this house, not even few, for over a decade.
You are inadvertently spilling.
No, I'm not spilling. I'm saying that over the period.
You are inadvertently spilling.
No, Mr. Minority Leader, I'm saying that over the period that you and I have been in this house, you can attest to the fact that there have been so many things between us that no person has ever known. And I can assure you that no third person will ever know. Because you can trust me that when I say I am doing this with my honor. I meant I'm doing it on my honor. Obviously, like you rightly said, when you push someone to the wall, I mean, it is said in the account, when you chase a coward to the wall, you see his braveness. Yes, all of us have our values, we have our principle. It gets to a point where if your core values are going to be compromised, you rather prefer to walk away. That is a natural thing. But I can assure you that when it comes to, as people say, spilling the beans, I'll be the last anyone can doubt whether I keep confidentiality. I can be free and be talking about it, but the details and specifics of things, you can never hear from me. Yes, I'm human. I'm not an angel. I can have my weakness and strength. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Honorable nominee. Let's go back to your seat. Your residential address is provided thus: B60 Simpson Road, Botima.
Yes, Minority Leader, Chairman.
But in that area where you live, you acquired your lease from government.
Yes.
So it was estate land that you bought.
Yes.
And you have a lease covering between you and government of Ghana through acting through the land commission.
Yes.
As your leaseor and you being a leasee.
Yes.
You also agree with me that you bought that land because that area was demarcated as a residential area.
Yes. And
that you bought it with equal right as any other person, be it a Ghanaian or a foreigner, the ability to pay.
Rightly so.
How would you feel if any Ghanaian suggests to you that by mere fact that that is a government land, you have taken advantage to acquire that, therefore you are corrupt?
Well, Mr. Chair, what I would say is that the whole of East Legon was for the state. There are private people living there, people who had worked in government before, and others. Residential was all state land. People acquired them legitimately and living there. I don't see anything wrong if it is done legitimately and rightly. And I've heard my colleague, the Attorney General, in answering question. If the land question says they advertise, they say they are giving out fees based on this procedure that is legitimate and you acquire, how can anybody say because of that you are corrupt? But obviously, as you may know, Chair, people have their perceptions about things. I remember in 2013, in 2009-10, when it did Obutubilante bought the residence that he was in, and people said morally it was wrong because if you were a minister and you were given a home, how do you end up buying it? And it went up to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court said that it was legally done. So far as I'm concerned, if you buy it legitimately, and others are saying that, oh, because of this, let them lend it in a lawful manner and let it be tested. Give us a chair.
Honorable nominee, what do you say to some of our patriots who hold view that property acquisition is a crime?
Well, everybody has his view about things. I mean, with a greater respect, you may like to take alcohol. I don't. Maybe because my religion forbids. You may like to take pork. My religion forbids me, and I accept and I don't take. You have chosen to have only one wife because your religion will not allow you to go more than one wife. My religion allows me to go up and I have two. I mean, so everybody has his view about things, and once someone holds his view about things, and as you know, it's not challenged in a legal court to test that you are doing something illegal. I don't bother about that, and you know me in this house that many of you say that I have a tick because I don't really bother much about what you are thinking. I rather focus what I believe is the right thing, and I try to do the best that I can and improve the Muntaka yesterday. The Muntaka of today to be better than the Muntaka of yesterday. That's my focus, but not what people go about saying. Thank you, Chair.
Back to your CV, page 1. Languages spoken and written. Hausa, Tree, Dagbani, and English. I know that some of your Dagomba friends taught you how to speak Dagbani. I don't know whether they taught you how to write Dani as well. Oh, I know.
No, Chair, he's right. I mean, we've had a lot of conversations, so he knows a lot more about me. Yes, I can say, Mr. Chair, permit me to amend the decision to cancel the handwritten. Obviously, even the Hausa, I cannot write very well in Hausa. The only I can write very well is English. Even Tree, I can't write well, so it's a mistake. So, if permit me, I will amend it by just the languages spoken. Thank you.
Please permission that.
Honorable Mini, in Ghana, when a person says my hometown, in the ordinary meaning of it, what would a person be referring to? To what would lead a person to say Winneba is his or her hometown?
Well, my understanding of hometown is where you are born or where your parents are born or where your parents hail from or your grand hail from. So it's just funny that in our country, our belief is that reference to only where your grandfather comes. But I think it's absolutely wrong, because if we are going to do that, then all of us will leave this country. We will all not be Ghanaians, because everybody came from somewhere down to somewhere and somewhere and somewhere. So me, my hometown is Kumasi, where I was born and bred. That is where I have lived. I have siblings who do not know Techiman, let alone to get to Tamale. Yes, I'm a South with a northern background, and I'm proud of it. I attended Tamale Secondary School. I get to know the families. I visited Kumbongo, where my grandfather hails from. I'm happy to be a Dogomba, but I was born and bred in Kumasi, and I use Kumasi as my hometown, and I'm very proud of it. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
So that's a bit of your northern background.
Well, my grandfather, I'm told, my great-grandfather, I'm told, hailed from Kumungu. My grandfather was born around Kumbung, up in Kumbung, moved in trading through Salaga and led in Kumasi through the challenges that you know that's between the north and the south. So my grandfather died in Kumasi, he was buried in Kumasi. My father grew up in Kumasi, also died in Kumasi. My mother, born in Tamale and moved to Kumasi, I'm told, when she was just about 2 years, and has since been in Kumasi to today. I was born and bred in Kumasi. My father has 41 of us. I'm number 14, and all of us born, I think with the exception of 2 that my father said they were born in Alaga. All the others, 39 of us, born bred in Kumasi. And it is Kumasi that all of us have ever known. Our assets, our larger family. Yes, we have the extended family. We visit. We are proud of them. Some are in Salaga. Some of my sisters married. I've taken them to. Some of my sisters are in Tamale. Ras Mubarak is my direct nephew. He's my direct sister. She's my father's fifth born, but she married, took her back to Tamale. Some of my siblings are in Germany. Some are in London, who are now British. Some are in America, who are now Americans. So I am born and bred in Kumasi, and I'm proud of it, and I see Kumasi as my hometown, and I will remain of being a Kumarican. Yes, and then my cousin is Amin Anta. Until the funeral came, when his mommy died, I went. Then that's what the father said. What are you doing? I came to my friends. He said, no, he's not your friend. And they started telling the relation. Looked at him, and I see one of my uncles. I see they have some resemblance. I said, oh, we have an imam in Asante, the late regional imam. It's late. He has a slogan that he uses very frequently every time he preaches, just to remind us about the peace. He said, look, everybody is in everybody's. So be careful about what you do to each other, because by the time you realize you are related in one way or the other. So it's a very common slogan in communities ongoing in Kumasi. Kuwa Nigerian Kuwa. To which means everybody is in everybody's home. So be careful what you do to people, because at least you come up and realize that, oh, not knowing that the one that you are hating is your red brother or cousin or nephew or niece. Thank you, Chair.
So, in other words, you are telling me that should I take a secret ballot on you, my respected colleague, Dr. Amin Ada, is like to defy my orders and vote for you because you are his blood brother.
Mr. Chairman, I don't think my...
It's not for you to answer.
Okay, thank you.
Honourable members, Honourable Amin Adam is not even a member of this committee, so he didn't even have a vote to cast.
Honourable nominee, you have indicated to us fully and in all sincerity that you've acquired the government land, you acquired it rightfully, and to the extent that you acquired it rightfully and you have your lease, there's nothing with it. May I know from you, still being honest with us, do you know some of your party members in leadership of your party who have acquired government lands in Cantonment, Roman Ridge, Airport Residential Area? Do you know, perchance?
Mr. Chairman, speaking, I don't go about asking people about their assets and listen. Frankly speaking. So, if I visit, say, the chair of the committee who I mean, we've been in this house and worked together on so many things. And I said, oh, you have a nice house. How am I going to be asking, oh, how did you acquire it?
That's
when
okay. I think, no.
So I just don't know. I don't know. Frankly speaking, I don't know.
That's okay. I mean, fair answer. I mean, somebody may not like you, but your sincerity would always precede you. And I put that out for public consumption with the little interaction I've had with you. Now, do you have some of your party members who live in the Roman Ridge area, Ridge, Canton's airport residential area? Since you visit them, some of your party leaders, colleagues in parliament, colleague NDC members, House of Parliament, do you have some of them living in these areas? I don't want you to mention names, but do you have some of them living in these areas?
Frankly speaking, Minister, I've been scanning my mind to see who did I know. The only person that I used to visit and play tennis with, he was then the minister, Honorable Mama Ega, when he was around the Roman Ridge. And since lost power, he left there. I don't know, but I knew that probably he was there because he was a government official or minister, because I could see then Bukumbo was next to him. So we'll go and play tennis together and do a lot of things together. In Roman Ridge, in Cantonment.
Let's deal Cantonment specifically, currently.
Frankly speaking, I'm scanning my mind to see whether I've visited any of my colleagues' 2 areas. On my honor, no. I can't recollect now whether I said anybody in that area. Unless if you see me around any of this area with somebody, you can ask whether, when I visit, ask him whether he owns a house or the land. Maybe
I've moved out away from ownership. Honorable, I intend to be very brave.
Thank you.
But your question, we are ordinarily entitled to follow-ups. So I'll be brief.
Okay. I think that's a good, what do you call it, sign with me. I'll try to be very
And
good.
as you may be aware, your event today comes under a special dispensation.
I have no doubt about that.
For very security reasons, and it's in the public interest that we take you to for the sake of our country. And as my respected colleague Kennedy Japan and Napo normally say, this is about systems and policies, not NDC MPP. So we are doing this for the country and nothing MPP NDC. I'm just limiting it to critical issues.
Sincerely grateful.
How close are you with Honorable Drisu?
I'll say very close.
Do you visit him in his house? Sometimes?
Yes. Around Bank Hospital. Yes,
that's
yes, I've visited him before. Sorry. Yes. That's what I said. I was scanning my mind to see.
You know he lives at Canton?
Yes, I know.
Very well. That's okay. Now let's deal with the time you left majority front bench. You recall that Mr. Speaker said this to you. I want to quote Mr. Speaker on the floor. He told you that when one door closes, many more are open. Do you recall this?
Yes, I do.
How good do you feel being an interior minister today, having this statement of Speaker on the floor of the House in mind, especially when those were your very low moments?
Well, let me admit, even apart from what he said on the floor, I'm grateful to Mr. Speaker because we met in his chamber and he repeated same and advised me, you are a member of the Pan-African Parliament. Look well.
You know you are going to the mosque.
Yes. So when he said that in Pan-African Parliament, not long before I became the chair of the Committee on Monetary and Finance, and that has opened so many other opportunities. The extent that if you admit, most of the time, I'm not seen on the floor because I was busy with that. So yes, once that door closed, so many others open, and I'm grateful for that.
Including this one?
Yes.
Including this one?
Yes.
Okay. Were you expecting this? Yes, no.
Well, I am the one who I'm type who live by the day and
Are you
trust
expecting
in my maker.
this?
So I don't wake up and say things. I just say the will of Allah be.
In 2020, you made your 6-year-old daughter vote, correct?
Yes.
Do you regret doing that?
No. I mean, my belief, Mr. Chair, was that this was, I mean, I'm very fan of Khadija. She insisted she wanted to be here today. I said, no, you go to school. Very fan of her. I mean, you have 200 children, but sometimes you'll be very fan of one. She said, Daddy, can I see how voting is done? So I said, oh, don't worry, we'll get there, I will. So I pulled her by my side to vote. Yes, I must admit, the votes are supposed to be secret.
So in other words, you didn't consider the legality or otherwise your action.
That's the thing.
You did it out of love and passion for
yes,
daughter.
knowing that seeing it and even using a hand to do it doesn't mean anything to her apart from just having the feel that, oh, I don't know what to do.
I am letting you know that it was wrong.
Yes. Later, when it came up, I said, oh, yeah, it's true, because one is supposed to secret.
You get the opportunity to apologize to Ghanaians?
I did.
Very well. Honorable Munta, in 2009, when you were a young person in government, you encountered some controversies. Which controversies and assured, and you were cleared. This committee will be happy to have the report right. That is, if you procure the copy for yourself. I say because as public servants of the political class, our being there is driven perception. It is therefore important that when engagement has come to an end, we let the same public know the state of it. If you don't mind, and if you have it, would you want to share that report that cleared you of any wrongdoing?
Mr. Chair, I relocated from Ashabotre to my new place. I moved, you know how we receive documents in Parliament. I moved most of the documents to the library in my community. In fact, they are still in stacks. I'll make effort to see if I can get it. I'll let you have it.
Fair enough. My very last question, so you can go to the mosque. You've assured the country today that you are a moderate politician, correct?
Yes.
You also assured the nation today that your honor will not tolerate partisan violence, correct?
Yes.
You are also telling Ghanaians that you don't subscribe to all the post-election violence we are having in the country, correct?
I condemn it, yes.
You also assure the nation, particularly the investor community, that you do all you can to protect their investment in Ghana.
Yes.
You also verily assure all Ghanaians, especially your political adversaries, to be specific, the MPP members who are in position, that your office will not tolerate political vendetta.
Yes.
On oath, on oath, you have said that you will lead your ministry to introduce reforms at our various security agencies. You still committed to that?
Yes.
Which is on oath?
Yes.
Now, it all. You have praised the security agencies, particularly the police. Let me say that the Inspector General of Police, Dr. Akufu Dampare, many may have their own views about him, but I am one person who respects him, admire, and believe that if we have his type consistently manning our police service, Ghana will be a better place. There may be some disagreement about his style, but I personally believe that what he has done for the nation in terms of security is one that we must all celebrate. What would be your own advice to anybody who would suggest that because he was an appointee of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and he's not 60 yet, an energetic, competent GP should be removed by virtue of changing power? What would be your advice?
Well, I can assure you that when, by the grace of God, this House approves of my decision and I join the team, definitely there will be assessment of all the team members. You know, His Excellency President Mahama has a vision and objective for which Ghanaians have voted for him. All that will be reviewed in, and those that in the views of His Excellency President Mahama will be helpful in assisting him to achieve their objective, especially in the national interest, I will support it. But I will not be able to deal with specific individuals to give assurance that, oh, after this person, he will go. After this person, he will stay. In fact, me, myself, I do not have that power. Even as Minister for Interior, I do not have that power. I can only make a recommendation about one individual or the other to His Excellency the President. And that decision is that of the President, which all of us are serving at his mercy. So I will not be able to give any definite answer, but I can assure you, I believe, since I was nominated, and with them, I can see that they are breaking their back to keep us safe. They need to be afraid. We need to support the system so that the system will continue to improve and protect all of us. That's assurance you can get from me. But as to who will go, who say, I do not have that power. The best or the worst I can do is to recommend to His Excellency, and that is for him. Thank you.
Honorable nominee, indulge me. I've sought the leave of my respected chairman to do this one more exercise. And me, you know how this our enterprise is. I take you back to 2016. In 2016, November, December, thereabout, President Mohammed's government granted some approvals for what they call clearance. We hear clearance for some public institutions to recruit. I was zoning on the security services, particularly police, immigration, fire, and prisons. This recruitment began around November and into December, after even the elections. These young men and women entered the training schools even while they were celebrating. And in March of 2017, Nana Adodankwa Akufo-Addo went to Fosu, the immigration training school there, and officiated the passing out ceremony of those recruitments. Took place in December. I want to ask you, there is general apprehension in town. There were Ghanaians who were recruited and are training. If you go to police training school at Tesano, there are Ghanaians, male, female, training. If you go to Fosu, if you Tafu, immigration, there are Ghanaian youth training, fire, training schools, all over. They are training. In fact, since I became a member of parliament in 2013, I have benefited from ministers of interior coming to support MP that bring your constituent to allow balance. When I was in opposition, when you were in opposition, they gave you some. All MPs, they pass it through leaders. So, on authority, I know that those Ghanaian youths who are training are not PP so-called, but they are Ghanaian who they are MPs. I'll go there, please. Honorable, can I finish my question respectfully? No, can I finish my question respectfully? The chairman controls this meeting.
Order.
All right? I speak facts.
Please, order. Honorable, proceed to
Very well.
ask your question.
Be tolerant. You are a friend of this committee. I'm not going to mention names, but if you want me to mention names, I can. Because we are dealing with national issues here. Please. From 2017 all the way to 2024, when elections were being held, NDC MPs got protocols for recruitment. PP MPs got protocols for recruitment. Some, that's correct. That's a good qualifier. Some, that's correct. Ghanaian youth who bought forms had the opportunity. Would you ensure that Ghanaians who are currently in training will conduct their training peacefully, and upon completing their training, you as minister or anybody authorized by you will officiate their passing ceremony? Honorable nominee, please, I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I think facts are always available to check. What I've said, and I'm repeating, is that I, Muntaka Mohamed Mubarak, I worked in the best national interest. That's I will say on this. I'll act in the best national interest. That's all I will say.
Honorable nominee, thank you very much. I wish you all the best. You will from us, and that's a very mature response, and I think I'm satisfied. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable Mess. May I humbly, may I humbly, Honorable Roxon Dapamoko. Honorable Roxon Dapamoko, you don't have the floor. You do not have the floor. I do not intend to engage in this with you. Honorable Roxon Dapamoko, I least expected you to this. You do not have the floor. Wait for me to give you the floor. Honorable members, I recognize
Chairman, with all due
the
respect,
presence.
the ranking member has just said that between 2017 and 2024, every NC member got protocol. I never got. Please.
Honorable members.
He said every NDC member of parliament. So please.
Honorable members.
Please.
Honorable Roxon.
Please.
Take it easy.
I never
Honorable
got
Roxon.
anybody.
Honorable Roxon. Take it easy. He qualified it by saying, I've been a member of parliament for a long time, and I know as a member of parliament, our constituents will come to us with enlistment form and beg on behalf of our constituents to be elected. When you go to beg and you happen to get it, fine. If you don't happen to get it, fine. But I don't have a situation where they will say that automatically as a member of parliament, you are entitled to bring this number of people to be enlisted into the police service. So with all respect, let's handle this with some utmost. So honorable members, I recognize the presence of Honorable Matthew Opoku Prempre, former member of parliament for Menchia and vice presidential candidate for the New Patriotic Party in the just ended presidential election. Honorable members, with this, I plead to recognize the guests seated behind the nominee who are here to give moral support. First on my list is Hajia Zinab Ahmed, a spouse of the nominee. I recognize you with your children. Alhaji Muntala Shuabu, father of the nominee. I also recognize Augustus Andrews Nana Akwesi, Asha Regional Chairman, NDC. I recognize Alhaji Mohammed Abdul Wahab, Kotokoli Imam, Ati Region. COP retired, Kofi Buachi, Director of Operation at the President. Chief Alhaji Ahmed Ibrahim, Angara Chief, Ashanti Region. Sheikh Abdul Razak Abdullah, Deputy Regional Imam of Alusuna Ashi. Alusuna. Very well. I also recognize Nana Kofinti, representative of Asokore Mampong, Hini. I recognize Chairman Mustafa Ayariga, Vice Chairman Sawasi Constituency, Chief Alhaji Abdul Salam Akate, Kuro Balugambani Sapara II, Alhaji Yaya Muhammad Mahmoud, Imam of Bolga, Alhaji Husseini Abu Dagomba Chief Ashanti, Nana Ya Gentua, Office of the Presidency, and Lawyer Chum Berima, Secretary to the Transitional Team on Interior. You are all welcome. Honorable members, I have the pleasure to congratulate the nominee and to say that you've been here on time. Questions were posed to you, very composed, intelligent. You provided the answers to the questions. Once again, congratulations. You will surely hear from the committee and you are hereby discharged.
Thank you very much, Chair. I'm grateful.